Welcome to this week's Pardon the Disruption. I am your host, Matthew Potter.
Kind of like what RJ did with the 50, whatever thing he did. He stuck with it even though no one cared, right? Like he stuck with it.
Mr. RJ Bates.
We don't have any NBA questions, so I wanted to throw in the NBA today by saying you guys are like the Detroit Pistons and San Antonio Spurs.
I feel like Steve's skin is like slightly lighter, so shout out to Steve.
We have Mr. Leon, do not forget the G, Barnes.
On all the things that were on my checklist today, RJ Bates breaking down the Barbie movie was definitely not one of them, and I'm here for it. I want more. Bring me more of that in the future on PTD.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's Pardon the Disruption. I promise you, we have a great show in store for you. I'm your host, Matthew Potter. Real quick, before we get into it, wanted to go ahead and show you our rules over here. 5 questions. Everybody will get 1 minute to go ahead and respond, then 2 minutes to chop it up after that. Points are awarded during the process. The one with the most points will win. We are going to get into intros, starting with Mr. Disruptor himself, Steve Trang. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? Looking forward to another great week. I apologize we're late. CJ has been troubleshooting his computer. He literally has like how to restart a computer book in front of him. So I apologize for that. Stratton's here. He has promised to be on his best behavior so that we don't get canceled. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we have RJ, it's RJ.
RJ's just hanging out today. All right, next up, Richmond VA's greatest IT representative. We have Chris Jefferson. CJ, introduce yourself.
Chris Jefferson, Richmond, Virginia. I was just getting educated, doing some reading before I educate the panel on today's questions that I have not read yet, but I'm going to read right now. Good to see everybody, and looking forward to it.
CJ got the questions in Cliff Note form from Barnes & Noble this week. That's what he's reading over there right now. Next up, we have Mr. RJ Bates III. Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? Excited for another PTD to hang out with all my friends and Steve. And also looking forward to hearing CJ complain about housing affordability. And hopefully we can figure out if he can ever afford some Wi-Fi, considering the fact that he lives in Richmond. And he all let us know this week how expensive it is to live in Richmond, Virginia. So looking forward to this week's episode.
He did. CJ dropped in the infographic for us. He let us know. Last, certainly not least, we have invited back Mr. Stratton Brown, Strat Daddy, if you will. Introduce yourself.
Thank you guys so much for having me back on. I didn't promise shit to Steve. I made no such things. Not once, not ever. Black History Month is a scam. Black History should be every month. Man, like, what the hell are we doing? Let's go. I'm here to win. And do not forget, if you need a virtual assistant in your business, virtualhelp.io. I'm ready for today.
Might have been the fastest cancellation ever in PTD history. There you go. In intros, we haven't even had any questions yet. All right, let's get into question number 1. Real estate. What was your dream house growing up? Start us off, Steve.
So I lived in La Jolla for a bit in San Diego. I went to UC San Diego for grad school. And I would always hang out at La Jolla Beach to study. That was always the intent. It never got done. Like I was always went to the beach with the best of intentions, and all I would do is either nap or check out all the amazing houses on La Jolla Beach. And there was this one that's just a glass from top to bottom, 2 levels. That's the dream house. At some point, we're gonna go. Well, I don't know if we'll ever live in California, but if we ever lived in California, it would probably be that house. So we will see. Also, I remember I was searching when I was moving to San Diego as a broke college student. Like, what could I get? And there was this also magnificent, like 6,000 square foot house on the ocean for $4 million. Feel like I might have missed out on that one. I should have closed on that one with no income.
Yeah, that definitely was a missed opportunity there, Steve. All right, CJ, what about you? What it is your dream house?
Mute.
You muted.
Mr. Technology.
My bad. I was reading the manual to educate Stratton on Black History Month, but nonetheless, Dream House, definitely Hollywood Hills, something overlooking LA, with nothing but vibes, as Steve would say, and definitely LA, man, with a beautiful house with a beautiful view, 100%.
All right, there we go. Simple, clean answer right there. All right, RJ, what are we looking for Dream House from RJ Bates?
You know, it says when you were growing up, and it's really weird because I never quite understood the way or the reason why I felt this way growing up. But even when I was like 16, 17 years old, I always knew I wanted to live wherever voted opposite of whatever a guy named Chris Jefferson voted. So California, Virginia, New York, those are out. So I want somewhere with mountains, a lake, and a hockey rink. That's what I want. I want a hockey rink because, we got to talk about hockey. I'm part of the disruption. I want a hockey rink inside of my house on a mountain viewing a lake. And wherever doesn't vote like Chris Jefferson.
There we go. Question 1. We're already into it today. We haven't even gotten through the full panel yet. All right, Stratton. What about you? Dream house growing up?
I didn't really have a dream house growing up, but I'd say now I want 10 acres in the heart of Salt Lake City. I want to be able to have a football field on my yard, a 10,000 square foot warehouse where I can put in a basketball court, have all my big family parties, and obviously a cigar lounge, and then have one of those Andy Frisella garages. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. And then I could go rent that Malibu house on the beach whenever I want to go there and not have to pay insane prices, because that one's really, really expensive.
So I guess in a matter of 1 week or 2 weeks, Stratton is now willing to.
I knew you were fucking coming with. Oh, sorry. I knew you were coming with it. I knew you were coming with it.
Fell for the trap. I would say a close second for me would be the White House. I think I could do a lot of good. Presidentialcashoffers.com. I think we can fix this country. We can right the ship, as Stratton would say. So I would say close second would be the White House.
Are you not running with Biden this year?
I don't think he's made a formal VP pick yet. Look, it doesn't matter who wins. I'm happy to be VP. I'll run it from behind the scenes.
Biden train, baby.
Biden trains, Chinese.
I'm surprised.
Chinese ticket.
Did people say they want to live in California?
What's that?
2 people said they wanted to live in California.
Who were the
On
two?
The ocean?
Who were the two?
You and Steve.
The people that could afford it. I got you. Yeah. Got it. That makes sense. I got you.
CJ's been formulating that for a hot minute.
You can stay in the guest house, RJ. You can stay in the guest house.
CJ finally checked into the game. He figured out his Wi-Fi, and he's like, "Here I am, baby."
No. We'll build us a little spot out back,
an ADU
with wood paneling in there. And, we'll throw up some trinkets and we'll toss it
with some fake belts.
Plated gold belts for Hollywood, man.
Oh man. All right. That's going to conclude question number 1. Great answers. Nice to see that CJ threw the manual aside and decided to come in here. Throw down on RJ. We're going to get into question number 2 now. In the last year, there were 2 altercations at an awards show that were handled differently by both committees. At the Oscars, Will Smith was seen smiling and joking after slapping Chris Rock. Meanwhile, Killer Mike was seen in handcuffs from an undisclosed altercation. How do you ensure your employees get treated fairly when it comes to serious escalations? Start us off, CJ.
Look, I mean, first and foremost, right? Like, let's just for a moment assume that RJ took the stage, and it'd be like one of those like those hockey fights that you see. We'll let him keep padding on and keep it safe, and that would never happen, right? What happened with Killer Mike was disgusting, man. This guy swept the Grammys for the hip hop category. and got hit for a misdemeanor. But I mean, look, ultimately, right? Like if you've got a situation where I don't know, man, like different people have to be handled in different ways, I don't think that makes sense. I think that you've got to be reasonable in how you manage everybody in your team, regardless of performance, regardless of what they're able to accomplish. So it's unfortunate that Chris Rock got slapped and Will Smith was able to sit in the audience and torture him. And RJ staring at me on the screen right now.
Oh man! All right, RJ, rebuttal on this one. What are you doing to make sure that everybody's treated fairly on it?
Yeah, I think at the Oscars, the problem is they probably didn't have a protocol for someone, coming on stage and slapping a presenter. So that was probably the fallout there. I think when it comes to our businesses, we have to have actual plans in place for like, hey, what are non-negotiables? Like, if there was a physical altercation inside of my office, that's obviously a non-negotiable. Whoever starts that or escalated it is going to be, terminated and removed from the company. So I think there's steps that have to be set in place. These are things that realistically, as entrepreneurs, we struggle even getting to this point of thinking about that in the future, right? We talked about last week what are wasted times, and Steve was talking about setting up LLCs and buying domain names and all of this. But do we actually sit down and write like SOPs for, hey, what is a non-negotiable? What is an offense that could be worthy of a termination? And how would we handle certain situations? And over the 14 years of being an entrepreneur, Cassie and I have had some moments where it's like, damn, never even thought that could possibly happen. And then because of that, we didn't know how to appropriately react in the moment. So you do need to sit down and take the time to think about all the different things that can happen.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear there's no Friday night fights anymore over at Titanium, that you've outlawed that. Thank you for that. All right, Stratton, what about you?
Man, coming from locker rooms my entire life, there's a phrase that I like that's be whoever you can afford to be. And you hear it from NFL players, you hear it in everything else. I think the Killer Mike situation was disproportionately unfair, but everybody gets treated fairly. Not everybody gets treated the same. Obviously, the standard is the standard, but for a lot of people, let's say any of you guys who are talking to like your right hand, I'm guessing you can have more direct conversations with that person that go significantly easier than someone who just came into the company, right? Because they know how you operate and they're used to it. And now we're having that conversation rather than, hey, this person, everybody gets treated the same way, because everything is different. Everything is so dynamic all the time. But as long as the standard is met, everybody is treated fairly, but everybody will not be treated the same. And that's how I've taken that. Because if you're the star player on the football team, even though everybody says Tom Brady got his ass chewed, Tom did whatever Tom really wanted to do, and everybody still knew he was Tom. Like there was still a drastic difference. And if you touched Tom in practice, you would get crucified and you would be cut and you'd probably never get picked up by another football team. And so there's all those different dynamics that you do need to handle.
There you go. All right. Stratton coming with some heat on question 2. All right, Steve, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Unfortunately, I agree with Stratton. I think it's you can't you got to treat him fairly, but doesn't mean you treat him exactly the same, right? If Aaron came in and like punched RJ, I'd be like, I understood your point of view. I get why you did that, right? Like it has to be contextualized. It has to be, what are you bringing to the table? How long you've been with us? Is this out of character for you, right? Like if you've always been a contributing team member and you lose it one time, it's gonna be treated differently than like, hey, you've been acting this way for the last 4 months and we've given you multiple warnings. What is going on? So I think the treatment is gonna be different, but we're gonna be as fair as possible. And then going back to with Killer Mike, does anyone know exactly what he got arrested for? Does anyone know? Because I don't know.
Chris,
What?
you sound like you read about it. I just heard that he got an altercation with like a security guard.
Yeah, there was all I heard was that it was, or read rather, was there was some sort of altercation, like backstage or something like that, and there was some sort of misdemeanor that he was charged for. But
So I think we got to get Nasser on here. We got to get Real Estate Guru because he apparently is friends with Killer Mike. He is friends with Killer Mike. So let's
he probably knows what happened for sure.
Yeah. So let's get Nasser on the show. But before I get into that, right? I think you talk about different treatment, right? I mean, Killer Mike over the weekend was on Bill Maher's show, and he kind of alluded that he would vote for Trump, and I think this is what happens, right? Your treatment is dependent on your political views. Unfortunately, I think there's an element of that. Conspiracy theory, I know Chris is upset with me, but let's put that out there.
Nah, in California, if someone can go and break into a store and steal $1,000 worth of shit and have nothing,
950.
Yeah, you got to stay under a G.
We have standards.
I can have people break into my homes and light them on fire and nothing can happen. And all these things can happen. But then let Killer Mike have an altercation with another grown-ass man and he gets a misdemeanor. But then there's an entire homeless encampment outside of the Oscars. That's when it's really out of hand.
Yeah, but I think the other thing too
takes it into another level.
What RJ is talking about, right? Like with Chris Rock, I think there was two different things, or Will Smith, there's two different things. First, they probably don't have in their SOPs. I don't know anyone that has an SOP. I'm like, hey, what happens if someone comes up and slaps the presenter, right? Like, can you imagine we're up at the Titanium Crucible and someone just comes up and slaps RJ? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it would be awkward because it's not like I have security guards here.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do?
There's no
SOP.
myself? There's no SOP for that. But the other thing too is I think a lot of people were wondering, was it staged, right, with Chris Rock and Will Smith?
Yeah,
there was an element of that too.
Stratton, you brought this up, so I have to pick on you a little bit. You brought up the Tom Brady topic, utilizing some of the examples inside of the Patriots organization, Lawyer Malloy, Richard Seymour. They all got cut when they got, quote unquote, too old for Bill Belichick and the Patriot way. Tom Brady got the same treatment there at the end. So, I mean, were they really treated was Brady really treated differently?
Yes, because Tom was there the longest, and Tom is the one who was setting the standard, and then at the same time, it was really a bad decision on the Patriots' part because there was nothing wrong with Tom. It was more of a political thing than it was an actual output thing. If it was an actual output thing to where he couldn't meet the standard anymore, he wasn't balling anymore, that would be one thing. But it wasn't. It was more of a political thing. He thought shitty ass Jimmy G could come in and do something. He couldn't. He can't throw a damn football, right? And so now here we are. Tom got another Super Bowl. Bill Belichick can't get another job.
So I'm glad you said on it. You resonated.
I will hire him. He can't get another job.
A couple of weeks ago, you disagreed with me. Sounds like you really sat down and thought about your misunderstanding of the question, and now you agree with me. I appreciate that.
Jeez. Oh, good old RJ. It's always good to hear from RJ. He's got great insight, great point of view. Always tries to spin things into the Batesy light there. All right, we're going to get into question number 3, our viral video of the week. Check it out.
Michael Bublé from the All-Star game basically saying, yeah, I'm on mushrooms right now, tripping balls.
My buddy told me this is just a microdose of mushrooms, and he was lying. So I'll be honest, I thought I was in Blades of Glory for most of the time that I was out there until it sort of settled down, and then I realized, holy I am at the NHL All-Star game.
Hey, Bublé, thank you, buddy. I wasn't the biggest Bublé fan. I know around Christmas he shows up with this silky voice. He's obviously awesome, and everybody enjoys him. I watched that press conference. Bublé, you got a fan in me, pal. If you have one fan, it's me.
Wow. All right, what are your thoughts on this video? Start us off, RJ.
Yeah, well, I mean, the video itself is hilarious. The fact that I guess he thought a microdose of shrooms was going to be okay for him to be, out there he was actually on the ice with the NHL players themselves, which is pretty hilarious. So I is our question that we're supposed to go over what is our funniest, most embarrassing?
Yours.
Okay, so mine, might take a second here. So give me some extra seconds, okay? So I'm on a date. I'm 18 years old. I'm trying to resurrect a relationship, okay? I ordered a steak. The steak went down. I choked on it and literally had to get pulled out by the waiter saying that my date had already purchased dinner. I was in the bathroom trying to throw up the steak while I was choking. And this went on for 3 to 4 hours. I had to be taken to the hospital. And the date ended with me throwing up steak all over the nurse's desk and computers. That was one of my, now I look back at it, it's funny, but at the time it was pretty damn embarrassing.
We call that a typical Texas Tuesday around here. So there you go. All right, Stratton, what about you? Most embarrassing moment for you?
Man, most embarrassing moment. You guys ever had skid marks in your underwear?
Jesus.
Best behavior. There we go.
A little shark,
bro. A little shark, right? A little shark that I didn't realize was a shark. And Kalani does my laundry, and so that was mighty embarrassing. To where, I mean, I don't need to explain much more, but like, I didn't think I sharted, but I sharted, and then she saw it, and oh my god, it was terrible. And I still live with her too. That I gotta think about that all the time when I walk by the laundry bin.
Oh man, that's outstanding. Good work, Stratton. Good work. All right, Steve, what about you? Funniest / embarrassing moment for Steve?
All right, so We Live 19 was a huge, coming out party. I got to speak at Max Maxwell's event. 1,000 people there. Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, they fly out to support along with the Bash folks. Jesse Burrell, Evo, Annie, Brian Applis flies out as well. And while we're out there, a good friend of ours drove up from Houston. We're gonna say Don Donna, right, just to protect everyone's reputation, right? He flies out. He drives out to hang out with us, and we were concerned whether he was able to stay at the hotel because Max Maxwell decided to host an event, an outrageously expensive hotel that was $450 a night, right? So someone provided some entertainment on top of the alcohol, right? So everyone but Pace is drunk and a tad high, right? And we're trying to figure out how we're going to get Don home, right? And Jamil was like, hey, let me walk you to your hotel across the street. And he's like, nah, I'm good. And he's like, well, I can order an Uber. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm fine. Right? Because Jamil knows that this guy did not get a hotel room at this hotel. He was going to end up crashing in Jamil's room. And wouldn't you know it, I'm too tired. Can I just stay here? And he crashes Jamil's 1-bed hotel room. Right? So, again, we're all a little drunk, a little high. And that is one of the best memories I ever had of just me and Evo just laughing our minds off at Jamil's unfortunate circumstance that he has to share a hotel room with 1 bed with Mr. Don. We ended up figuring out a situation because I actually had a 2-bed room. So we had to sneak back into Jamil's room so he can get his iPhone charger. And I actually have, some footage of all this. And we're just laughing because there's a guy that's just totally pieced out, just hanging out, sleeping comfortably in Jamil's bed all to himself. And Jamil had to sleep in the other bed in my room. It is one of the funniest memories, a memory I will never forget. Just me and Evo just laughing at Jamil. Funniest moment in my life.
This was obviously prior to Steve joining Team iPhone, or else he would have just graciously given up his charger to Jamil. All right,
This was definitely before Team iPhone. Yes.
What about you, CJ? Funniest, most embarrassing moment. What do you got?
I don't know that I was embarrassed the time I sharted. It just kind of rolled with it. Did a old English swap in the bathroom, and gave a little swipe and kept it going. Free balled it a little bit. So I wouldn't say that. Most embarrassing moment that I can think of. I don't easily get embarrassed. I don't know that I really even do. I think one time I was doing this event I think Steve was there. I think RJ was there. And, like I had this moment in the bag, right? It's like a coming out moment. It's Closers Olympics. Just completely smash this call with this seller. And then I got hosed by Carlos Reyes. Shout out to Carlos.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully, shout out to Carlos. Carlos did the old trumper on me. And, put an old trumper on me, called down to Georgia, and got the vote changed. That was a little embarrassing, I guess I would say at the moment, but it actually worked out very much in my favor. So I don't know if that was even really embarrassing, but that's what I'd say for sure.
I mean, those are good times. Like, you were one of the 6 best closers, like that competition. It was pretty dope.
I mean, realistically, CJ, you and I can both agree. Being hosed by Carlos Reyes is one of the best things that can happen in your career.
yeah. It was.
It's
it definitely worked
thing.
out in my favor for sure.
Real quick, I want to recap what Steve said in his very long answer. I took some notes. Okay. At the beginning, he said, "We Live" was his coming out party. And then he ended it by saying he snuck Jamil out of his hotel room to come spend the night in his bedroom. So, Steve's coming out party.
So,
feeling Jamil to come spend the night with him.
I didn't know you were in the Bears, bro. That's wild. What? You're in the Bears?
So, what was actually really fortuitous with that was, since I had never done a gummy before, I kind of
420 Steve, man.
I kind of overslept, and because Jamil was in the room, they were able to wake me up in time to go out and do my presentation.
Wow, you almost missed your presentation at We Live.
Perhaps, allegedly.
And this is from a single gummy, and then. I'm just making sure I got this is like a gummy bear.
I feel like you're
when you say
my tolerance.
Gummy, I don't know if you mean like a couple gummies merged together into one unit.
Nah, bro, it was like 3 milligrams.
I don't see why this matters.
He was becoming 420 Steve. He wasn't 420 Steve.
Yeah, now Steve might be anemic, man.
Oh man. That was definitely a good round. Point to CJ, first time working onto PTD, free balling. Before we get into question number 4, word from our sponsor, Pat Hilton, over at Acoustic Force Media.
The world is changing. So is the world of business. It's never been easier to get your message out to the entire planet. Let me help you crack the code today. My name is Pat Hilton. My social media agency can produce you the same custom digital content that landed me on stage at the biggest business events in the world. I've rocked the roof off with the best digital marketers in the game. Getting social media content filmed and produced for your business is now as easy as ordering a cup of coffee and hopping on a video call with your friend. We find trending topics in your niche, coach you through recording in the comfort of your home or office, create engaging clips and graphics, then upload them online and manage all your social media pages. Bring your brand to life. Contact Acoustic Force Media today.
All right. Thank you, Pat, as always, for being a somewhat proud sponsor of PTD. All right, question number 4. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl? All right, start us off, CJ.
Yeah, come on, man. Shout out to Stratton and Black History Month. Come on, man. Patty Mahomes, man. One of our mixed brethren, man. All right. He's gonna bring it home. Yeah, he's gonna bring it home, man. Face of the NFL. He's out there looking like light-skinned Steve. All right. Just throwing balls all over the court or over the field, right? Just tossing his balls, man. I'm looking forward to the game. He's going to free ball it, kill it. I got the Chiefs winning by 2 touchdowns. And 2 touchdowns, no question. Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as the greatest QB to ever live, man. 2.5 Sunday, man.
Oh my God!
Wow.
2.5 Sunday, man.
We're
You
going.
don't think so, RJ?
We're going
You
two.
don't think?
Whew. All right. Next up, RJ. Who do you got winning? Who do you got winning this weekend?
I mean, I've got the Chiefs winning, but this whole thing about Mahomes becoming the greatest quarterback of all time, like, bro, he would literally have to continue doing what he's doing for like another 13 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen. You're already starting to see the talent around him is starting to age out. They're not going to continue to be able to rebrand around him. So don't listen to CJ. The Chiefs aren't going to win. I don't think it's going to be by 2 touchdowns. I think it'll be a close game. Both teams deserve to be there. I think it'll be interesting to see what the 49ers do, considering the fact that they've leaned on McCaffrey so much and the Chiefs defense is so strong. Are they going to be able to move the ball in the air with Purdy?
There we go. Some insightful analysis from Mr. Bates there down in DFW. All right, Stratton, what are your thoughts? Who's winning on Sunday?
I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs, but I do think Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. No question, bro. With technology the way it is now, he's going to have a long career. And just because he doesn't have talent now, bro, the Chiefs draft amazing. They're going to find some more talent, develop some more talent, and keep it rolling. But I think the Niners are going to win. And I love the Niners defense and how stacked they are, honestly. Like, I love everything about it. I love Chase Young. I love the Bosa dude. Fred Warner, if you're like football fans and you watch his tape, is an absolute animal and is like teach tape of how to play linebacker. I love everything. I mean, Debo's a dog. McCaffrey, a dog. Brock Purdy is a solid quarterback. Would I say he's amazing? No. But I'm going to take the Niners by like 3. It's going to go down to the wire. Niners are going to win by 3.
There we go. An opposing 49ers fan over here in Stratton Brown. All right, Steve, what about you? Who's winning on Sunday?
Man, this is pretty tough because, like, I mostly respect Stratton, right? Especially when it comes to football. But, like, I can't imagine a person ever being more wrong on this show. Wow. So I think for sure it's going to be the Chiefs. And the reason why, I do think the Chiefs are going to be a better team. But, football is any given Sunday, right? Like, anybody can win. Except I would say this one, because there's just way too much damn money here, right? We're talking about Taylor Swift adding $331 million in value to a football team, right? The Swiftie Nation would lose their damn minds and burn everything down. Like, Arrowhead Stadium will be burned to the ground, right, if the Chiefs lose. So I think the whistles are going to be a little lighter, right? The Chiefs might get away with a little more holding, right? Might get away with a little more contact after 5 yards. I think there's going to be some questionable calls. So I think the Chiefs are a better team any given Sunday normally. But in this instance, I think the officiating might be a little more favorable to one team than another.
I have to say, Stratton, the 49ers defense probably has more talent, but I think the Chiefs defense is more cohesive as a unit and has outperformed the 49ers talent all year. I mean, just take the championship games, for example. I mean, the Lions were able to move the ball pretty consistently against that 49ers D. They shouldn't have been able to do that. And the teams, nobody's been able to do that to the Chiefs, specifically in the second half all year. I think that's going to be the difference in this is, the Chiefs are able to basically what they did last year against the Eagles, just shut down the 49ers in the second half.
I think that the best players make plays in the biggest games, and their defense is absolutely stacked, and they're all going to step up and make plays when they need to. I don't think you're underestimating them, but time and time again, they're Pro Bowlers for a reason because they make the big plays when they need to.
They got a crazy stacked defense. 100% agree with that. Fred Warner is a dog. Debo's a dog. McCaffrey's a dog. Ayuk's a dog. But you know who's not?
Uh-oh.
Brock Purdy.
There we go.
Right? Brock Purdy's not a duck. All right. He's a get you there guy. It's the Super Bowl. It's all the pressure. It's 2 weeks of buildup, 2 weeks of hype. Brock Purdy, look, it's been media week. The guy doesn't look ready. All right. Everybody else might be ready, but the QB's got to get you there. If we're really sitting here having a conversation about Patty Mahomes, as Steve would say, right? getting burnt up Sunday night by Brock Purdy. Come on, man. Too many weapons with the Chiefs. They got the run game right now. Like RJ said, their defense is strong. They got weapons all over offense. Don't see it happening.
I don't.
What's the sticky stuff, Stratton? As long as Kelsey can get his hands good, then the Chiefs
I think Kelsey steps up though. If you over the playoffs, Kelsey has always performed. He's always performed.
I don't like the hate on Brock Purdy though. I mean, what has he done to deserve the hate here? I mean, if you go back and watch that NFC Championship game, he made a ton of plays to get them to come back. Dude, you're talking about a 17-point deficit at halftime. Most teams do not come back. They come back to take a double-digit lead in that game. And I know there's turnovers and bad decisions by the Lions and all that, but Brock Purdy had a big part of that as well.
He's not a playmaker, man. He's not a game changer. You got to be a game changer to win Super Bowl.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. He still makes plays. No one is Patrick Mahomes, but Brock Purdy's still out there making plays, bro.
I'm not saying he's not getting right. Plays. I'm saying a playmaker, a game changer, man.
The only thing Stratton's getting right is saying, I don't know.
Oh, man. All right. So that was a great round. Come to find out, apparently CJ has conversations with Steve that none of us are, invited to. So we're going to get into question number 5. It is a dead heat coming into this one. So it's anybody's game today. As a business, how are you adapting to new technology such as Apple's new eyewear? And do you want a pair? Go ahead and start us off. Steve.
Yeah. So there's this newer thing coming out. I believe it's OfferBolt. I think is what's going out there. It's a way to automate offers, joint venture deals and this and that. So I have an inside track with a developer. So I would say absolutely. We're looking for every bit of advantage. The one thing we don't do is we don't try to innovate in that we don't create new tools. You see a lot of these guys like, hey, I'm all in on AI. I'm going to go deep dive in this for, into a cave for like 4 to 6 months. We don't innovate, right? What we do is we look for the guys that will go into the cave and innovate and then leverage their tools to plus our business. So absolutely, we love using new technology.
There we go. Other people's new technology. It's like OPM. It's like other people's money, just with technology. We call it OPT. All right. Next up, CJ, what about you?
100%. Shout out to Steve for the OfferBolt shout out. Man, we've been like really hard on technology for the last couple of years and put together a really cool piece of software really built around AI automation and follow-up pipelines and just doing really crazy stuff with it. We've been using it for a little over 8 months now, and it's an absolute game changer nationwide. Potter, you've checked it out. If you're not ahead of technology or at the forefront of technology, you need to make sure that you're close to somebody that is. Oftentimes what you see is a lot of these things and conversations, tools, strategies are kept in like quiet rooms and these high ticket masterminds and stuff like that. Which is why it pays to get coaching, which is why it pays to build relationships with people. I remember like pay per lead is like the biggest word in the industry the last 12 months. Like 5 years ago, people were talking about pay per lead. People were doing tons of business, way before COVID with pay per lead. So yeah, if you're not ahead of technology and building relationships, you're going to get left behind. Shout out to OfferBolt.
There we go. Never a plug around here on PTD. All right, RJ, what about you?
So as a business, how are you adapting to new technology? So like Steve said, we're not going to go out. We're not going to innovate. But if you consistently show the entire industry that you're the best at what you do, the ones that do innovate will come to you. Now, I don't know why CJ hasn't come to me yet. Apparently, he just doesn't feel like Offer Bolt's quite there yet. Probably
You just said
ready
why.
for the king closer. But I got this fancy new belt. See, this is what happens when you're the king closer. Future #1 affiliate, simply. King closer, RJ Bates. They come to you. You don't have to come to the technology chases you down when you're the king closer. So this came in the mail last night. CJ, bro, do better. Okay.
I mean, what do you even say to that? How many belts does RJ have now? Like, what is that? His 64th belt to go on the wall back there? He's got belts sponsored by Chick-fil-A now.
How many have I bought myself?
I don't,
4.
There you go. We got an answer from Stratton. 4. All right, Stratton. What about you, man? What are you doing with new technology?
Man, I think new technology, if you aren't keeping up, it's going to absolutely destroy you. Now we have everybody in our companies getting used to using whatever, like ChatGPT. So it doubles to triples the output of your people. And then we've used now new AI voice recognition technologies to make our overseas hiring process simpler, right? There's all these different things that you can just apply over time. But I think like with the Offer Bolt stuff, there's all sorts of like MLS offer stuff. Right now, there's even AI cold calling stuff coming out that we're looking into and applying. I think now more than ever, I do think you kind of, if you want to make the real money, I feel like you got to kind of dive into a cave or find that dude who went into the cave super early. Because like Chris said, you need to get that 5 years ago if you really want to make the margin that it's actually going to bring to your business. Because as soon as it's mass market, all of those, let's say, all the spread is gone. As soon as everybody finds out about the spread, it's capitalism. It's gone. It's away. So if you can get into those rooms, go be the, I wouldn't say go be the guy who's going to deep dive into AI. I'm with Steve. Don't go be an innovator, but find the man in the cave, become his best friend, go buy him some cookies, and then implement it into your business immediately.
No,
so
you
you
gotta
can
get
make a ton of money.
Get him some
You gotta get
gummies.
him the Kroger. You gotta get him the Kroger veggie tray. That's what he wants.
That's
So,
a veggie tray with ranch, man.
right. So look,
RJ's
I
a
want
blue cheese kind of guy, man.
I want to help RJ because he was confused. I just wanted to just go back here, just a snapshot in time, right? If you're the best, they will come to you. CJ, why haven't you come to me? Like you answered your question.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Because clearly, CJ knows his product is not ready. That's why he's testing it out on the peasant.
No, you said
like
it.
You before
if
he
you're the
presents
best,
it
they
to
will
the
come to
team.
you. Now you're trying to modify, right? I didn't know you were John Kerry. You're gonna flip flop. Like what are we doing here?
Yo,
All I'm
RJ,
saying
respect the boat, man. Respect the boat.
this is a true fact, though. I mean, this is a massive problem.
Oh, is that
in
a
our
fake fact? That's
industry,
good.
though.
All right.
As technology comes out with new things, there are so many people that are not in a position in their business to be trying to implement new technology without it being tested, without someone else coming along, like CJ saying, hey, to my entire community, this is tested and it's been used in my business. Now use it. I see that as being a huge problem where newer wholesalers, newer business owners, they go out, they chase that unicorn. This is something I talk about all the time, where it's like, hey, guys, pump the brakes. Stratton was just talking about AI cold calling. That's also something that literally I've had multiple people reach out to me and say, we could take all of your live calls that exist, RJ, and we could literally make the AI cold call just like you for your students. Literally, RJ Bates would be cold calling. Is that something you want? Allow someone like me to go out and do the work on that to see if it's something that could be productive rather than chasing that unicorn before it's perfected. That's what I was talking about there with CJ.
You want to hear the biggest scam I think that's going on right now with AI?
Are we ready for this? I don't know. Like,
please,
all the people pushing out like the AI lead system that's been out for like 6 years, and they just decided to remarket it as, oh, this is all AI, and it's been the same thing for the last 6 years. And when I used it the first time, it was like okay at best. No, nobody wants to talk about that.
You want to
guys
give an
know what I'm talking
example?
about? I don't want to put the company on blast, but I've seen 6 different people white label the software.
Put them on blast.
Why did your biggest scam not have anything to do with Trump or Black History Month? I thought we were ending the episode the way we started it.
Oh, so you want me to niggas for Trump? Give me Trump or give me death. You know what it is.
Yo, pray for Stratton. Shout out to Steve. Happy birthday. RJ, I will say, RJ, I think I reached out to you like 6 months ago.
Bro, you have not texted me in 7 months, bro. Shut your mouth.
I'm gonna check. My phone acts weird sometimes, so I'm gonna check. My service is crazy. You know that, man. The service is crazy, but I'm gonna
Only
check.
with CJ. Only with CJ does the text get lost in the mail.
Text is crazy. My texts are crazy. I think I hit you up 6 months ago. I'm gonna double check. If not, I might change your life. Look, this is the bolt, baby. We're not gonna send you plastic belts. All right. We're not gonna talk to you about affiliating dated technology. All right. What was working 5 years ago. We're gonna talk to you about what works in the future, man.
This thing
RJ,
is
it's not that heavy,
10
bro.
pounds.
It's not that heavy, dude. Come on.
It is if you're RJ.
This thing is legit.
Right? It is if you're a Hall of Famer and peaked in Pop Warner.
Oh man. So
you have CJ winning right now.
I do.
I will dedicate 2 points to Stratton. Stratton wins today.
All right. So we're gonna go 2 to Strat. We're gonna take away 2 from RJ. There we go. We got it down. There we go.
Anybody else want to donate to the Church of Strat?
No.
Anybody?
No.
It's a tax write-off.
RJ just paid it. RJ just did his tithing for this week.
So we had an emergency meeting last year, and I think we need to have another one about Stratton. So, right, last year was like, hey, what are we doing here? What can we do to promote this? I think what we need to talk about now is how do we make sure we don't get canceled? How do we make sure we're not offending people's sensibilities?
Offending, bro. It's their own choice if they want to be offended. What do you mean? That's their choice. It's not my choice. I'm not offending anybody.
Very introspective. I appreciate that, Stratton. Thank you.
There we go. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it. Based off of RJ's generous donation to 1-800 Daddy over there, we have Stratton winning his first and probably final episode based on the fact that, we may not be on the air any longer. We're going to go ahead and do outros. We had a lot of fun with you guys today. We hope that you had fun as well. Stratton, as our winner this week, go ahead and, say bye to the people first.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. My opinions do not reflect the opinions of the show or Steve Trang. But shout out virtual help. If you guys need a virtual assistant in your company, reach out to me. Thank you guys so much for having me on. RJ, I'm sorry you peaked so early, bro, but I'm telling you, if you get back in the gym, you may have a chance. Steve-O, you don't have to wear your masks anymore, bro. It's over. It's been like 4 years. You don't have to wear your masks in your Tesla anymore. You can stop getting boosters. CJ, I'm still thinking of something for you, bro. And then big ass lightning bolts in the background, but we're gonna fix it. We're gonna get something.
There we go. All right. Next up, Steve, say bye to the people.
I think Stratton's mistaken my Vision Pro in my Tesla for a mask. No, I am trying to get views and followers. That's what you're seeing when you're seeing me in my Tesla. And then when Stratton says that his views don't reflect us, his language also doesn't reflect us. And I am concerned for Stratton's well-being because I think he's going to get hauled off like Killer Mike for his statements on today's show. Congratulations on your last win. I don't think we can have you back on the show.
There was a undisclosed altercation, and he's no longer here. All right, CJ, say bye to the people.
Bye to the people. 7 p.m. Eastern tonight, man. You know where to find me, man. Startflippingdeals.com. RJ can come learn how to use AI automation to let his VAs focus on YouTube channels and not making money in his real estate business, man. I'll see y'all tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Peace.
Last, certainly not least, say bye to the people, RJ.
Yeah, with today's victory, Stratton has now got the same record as Fresno State did his senior year, 1-12.
1-11. Right, you're right. 1-11.
1-11. My bad.
1-11.
I actually Googled it, and Google came back and says no one gives a fuck. So it doesn't exist.
Happy birthday, Steve.
So my bad, Steve. We were already that kind of an episode, though, so it was okay.
A little bit.
Yeah. Congratulations, Stratton. You know, I love how you roasted me, even though I gave you the victory.
I know, bro. I thought about it as soon as I did it. I'm sorry, but I had to.
You must have thought about me the same way CJ thought about me with Offer Bolt. Yep. Appreciate you guys. Love hanging out with all my friends. See y'all next week.
All right, everyone. We hope that you enjoyed this show. Tune in next week. We'll see you guys later.